Hello there, everyone. The Andrada here, and welcome back to episode 10 of our All the Mods 9 to the Sky Let's Play series. A little bit longer episode today, but we are getting auto sieving, auto hammering, and all of that good stuff set up. So, yeah, let's dive on in. Welcome back, friends, to another wonderful night here in the world of the Andrada, where today, well, we are continuing in our progression. We worked with Powa last episode, got ourselves all nice and powerful. Get it? Okay, anyway, and today we're going to be working on getting our auto sieve set up because I'm tired of having to manually sieve. So yeah, we're going that route. We got a lot to do again, so let's get ourselves started so that way we can get it all done, I guess. But yeah, anyway, in between episodes, as I said last episode, I was going to go ahead and upgrade us to the spirited tier, and I did so. Also went ahead and gave us a couple more thermo generators here. So spirited tier, highest tier that you can get. Remember, it's not terribly too difficult to make these spirited crystals. It's literally just emeralds. I can't hit R over there. I forgot. Only problem with the occultism thing is I can't access my recipes. JEI and occultism ain't working together. So I can't hit R and then pull up the recipe. Anyway, it's literally just sticking emeralds inside of here, charging them up. So I added them to our super simple automation here. Emeralds, diamonds, bada bing, bada boom. We got it done. So I upgraded us all the way through each of the tiers. I went ahead and collected my quests already because they were giving me some pretty decent stuff that I could use to help me upgrade. But we went through the tiers here, went through the tiers on our energizing rods, went through the tiers on our energy cables, went through the tiers on the thermo generators, and that was about it. That was the only thing. Oh, and the energy cells. And then the ender cells, we kind of sort of skipped because these ones, the recipes for these don't require previous tiers. Anyway, all that being said, each of these thermo generators, by default, the spirited thermo generator is able to generate at 100% efficiency, 1,500 FE per tick. With the blazing crystal block under there, they're each generating 4,200 FE per tick. So that's pretty dang good. And I got 3 of them. So we're looking at a total of what, 12,600 RF per tick. We'll just call it 12K. 12K RF per tick here. And literally the only resource that is being used with this is water. And I don't even have this upgraded either. Like, it's not even a lot of water that it's using. It's pretty dang OP. Not gonna lie, that's pretty dang good. Over here, I have ourselves our ender cell set up, and it can hold 480 million RF. The ender cell by default, or the energy cell by default at the spirited tier, can hold 400 million, and it's a cumulative with previous tiers that we put in. And I accidentally made an extra blazing tier energy cell, so I threw that in there. So we ended up with 480 million, 400 from the energy cell, 400 from this energy cell, and then I had 2 blazing that I fed, the blazing that we had initially fed into our ender cell that got us the 40 million on that network, and then I ended up somehow making an extra blazing one, so I just threw it in there. So we have 480. Upgraded these guys to spirited. Bam, we're pretty good. We're pretty chill with our power right now. Yeah, do want to shout out Unpronounceable and CK in the last episode. Well, not last episode, but one of the episodes that came out, I think it was episode 6, TBH, mentioned that occultism, if you are looking at the recipes, the spirit dictionary, when you look at the pentacles, they are cumulative. So anything on this line I can build on top of, and it will work the previous ones, if that makes sense. So if I get Strieger's higher binding, I can still do Azivius's recipes or rituals on a Strieger's higher binding pentacle. Or same thing here with AVRs if I needed to get up to Abra's open conjure or whatever, which eventually we will need to do, we can build it upon. So you really only need to have 3 separate rituals that you can just expand upon. Now, they do get much larger as you go, so you need a fairly decent amount of room, but you don't need to have 15 different pentacles sitting all around like I thought. So thank you for that. I don't know if that's always been the case or if that's a recent change with it, but I like that a lot. Anyway, so today, now that we got power taken care of, by the way, I did not upgrade the ender gates. They're still chilling at the hardened tier, just because I don't think that we're going to need to pull more than 5,000 RF per tick on any of these machines for a while. So Yeah. What I would like to get into now is finish off the recipes for these things. So that way we have everything that we need to sieve so we can get it started. If you saw in my backpack, you kind of got a sneak preview of everything that we're going to be working on getting done, because I went and pre-made all this stuff because I knew we were going to need stuff for this, and it was going to take a while, so I pre-made it all. But I'd like to get into Alchemistry, just at least touch the surface of this mod. Never used it before. No idea. Is there a quest chain for Alchemistry? There does not appear to be so, but I know that it can make me ice, and that's what I am here for. Alchemistry is a mod that I'm assuming deals with chemistry and makes blocks through chemistry. That's ChemLib. But yeah, atomizer, compactor, combiners, dissolvers. There is a book in it for and everything if we need to at some point. I'm imagining we'll probably want to get into this. I'm probably going to look up a mod spotlight or something for that. Maybe I'll be, if there isn't one, maybe I'll be the one to create one. Who knows? But yeah, do we need this? Mining level obsidian. Emeralds for diamonds. Do I need dripstone? No. Do I need light gray dye? No. Sorry, guys. Get out of here. Your trades are nothing to me anymore. I am too much of a god. Okay, so touching the surface of Alchemistry, though, we want to get ourselves water because our goal is to get ourselves ice. And in order to get ice, we can utilize a compactor, and we can make ice inside of a compactor by making ice in a compactor, right? So 2 compactors with 16 water from ChemLab will make us ice. And then you can compact that again into packed ice. Then you can compact that again into blue ice, which is our goal eventually, is to get ourselves into blue ice. I don't know if you can compact packed ice and then you can do this. So we don't necessarily need to automate this. Ice generation is just really what I would end up ultimately needing. I think I needed packed ice and blue ice for the last 2. One of those is packed, one of those is blue, or that's blue, that's packed, something like that. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get it done. So the atomizer is going to require 2 pistons, 2 cauldrons. Pre-made those. Bada bing, bada boom. It's also going to require, for the compactor, we're going to need a piston, or 2 pistons, 2 pressure plates. Also made those. Boom. And then we just need to feed it water is what I'm assuming. Do I have the resources to make another sink? I'd like to. I don't think I have the terracotta, but I could just cook up some of this clay really quick. You know, since we have it. Pop on over here. Upgraded to obsidian, by the way, here in our furnace. Since, you know, at this point now we can handle the power. Why did I only do 3? Why am I only doing that many too? Let's just, you know, why not? Like, at this point we can, so let's do it. Okay, so terracotta. I need a bucket of water. Not that I don't have a bucket right there, but let's just go ahead and grab another one. And we got a sink. Okay, cool. We have item cables, fluid cables, everything we need there. We'll set this up over here for the time being. But once we get this first one, we'll be able to generate ice, so we're not going to need to leave this set up. So it's really going to be a very temporary setup. So we need a sink. We need our atomizer. Now you require power, so let's go ahead and get our ender gate. And we're going to put you on the back here. Does that give that power? Yes. Okay. Then if we take this and we go to our fluid pipes and we do that, will that work? Are you a happy block to accept input from any side? It seems to be the case. And you generate 8 each time. Well, that's pretty dang convenient. So then from there, we can go and put this into the compactor. The compactor is also going to require power. Do I want it to sit that way? Is that the only way it can sit? What if I do that? Yeah, it kind of seems to be the case. So we'll go ahead and give you power, and then we are going to give you items. So we'll use item pipes. Made those in between episodes in preparation, by the way. And bada bing, bada boom, we should get ice. Yeah. Okay, pretty simple. Now we need 9 of these total to make our blue ice so we can get ice generating in our extractor. But this is also an automated process. The problem is that it requires power, whereas this requires absolutely no power. We can just let this work. But we are going to work on getting ice done in here. So if we see our extractor just requires blue ice placed down below. Then for our black stone, we need blue ice. And for our deep slate, we need packed ice. So I'm going to need a total of a lot of ice for all of that to happen. The blue ice is going to take a little while for that to to kick off. Because right now I can make the packed ice, right? I can take these 9, I can go ahead and pack these down, but I need 9 packed ice to make blue ice. So I need a total of 81 regular ice in order to make the packed ice. So not the like fastest thing in the world, but it works. Oh, look, you have IO input or IO control. We can change what recipe it's working towards on the compacting. Okay. This is a pretty convenient mod. I'm not going to complain about this at all. I'd like it to be a little faster. I'd like to be able to get a time in a bottle, to be honest, but I don't have any netherite. In order to get netherite, I have to sieve up the blackstone, right? That's crushed blackstone. Gets me ancient debris. And in the gold tier, I have a 5% chance. Diamond tier, I have a 6%. I don't know what the best tiers. Look at that. Easnium is netherite tier. When we get these auto sieves set up, like this seems like the best is going to be netherite for this one, right? Because it gives me less of these pebbles and ups the percentage chance of ancient debris and gives me the easnium. So I need to look into getting netherite meshes for some of these, but I think I'm just going to have to look at each one to see exactly what we're going to do. Eventually, all of this is going to end up going over here, though. But I'm not going to make you sit here and wait for this to happen. I will just come back when we have this. I'm debating which route do I want to go. Do I want to get the blue ice first for the blackstone so I can make the netherite? Or do I want to get the blue ice going over here so I can get more ice going faster? Netherite gets me a time in a bottle, which also makes things faster. And we'll figure it out in a minute. All right, I'll be back when we have enough ice. All right, now I know what you're thinking. You're like, the Andrada, we left you back home at base and you were waiting for some ice. And now all of a sudden you're in a bastion. What's up with that? Well, I was looking at the recipe for the netherite meshes, and I forgot that Minecraft, on current versions 1.20 and higher, in order to use the smithing temple, you need... What is that sound? Something sketch sounds like it's going on. Anyway, you need smithing templates in order to use the smithing table and everything. And I was like, okay, well, how do we get them in this pack? Well, 2 options, and I need to get somewhere where I'm not going to get ganked in order to explain them to you. Okay, let's go ahead and get this brute. Get out of here. They hit so hard. Don't kill me. The brutes hit hard. Just saying. Avoid brutes if you can. It's kind of fun to kite them into the lava, though. That's always entertaining. Yeah, sucker. What are you going to do about this? Yeah. Anyway, 2 options. You can either A, find them in Bastion treasure chests, which is where I'm at, or B, you can summon them using Abra's commanding conjure, sacrifice a pig, summon a possessed hoglin, and then you have a chance, a 22% chance for it to get dropped. I figured going into the Nether and exploring was going to be a faster route, and I think that was the correct play here because I found one fairly simply by exploring. Plus, I found a bunch of other stuff. We got spawner agitators from Pneumaticraft. We got some junk that we don't need. Some soulbound boots. We got a familiar receptacle that contains the soul of a drowned. Don't know what that's about, but we have that. I got a piece of netherite. Some gas tiers, which we already had, some wood skull fragments, some gems from Apotheosis, more crying obsidian, and yeah, just stuff that we ended up getting from this. Labrin stalwart, golden tunic of the Forge God, stuff I'm not going to complain about getting for free. Now that we have one of these, though, we can actually go ahead and duplicate them so that way we don't have to worry about where are we going to get more from. We just need to make sure that we always remember to duplicate it before we actually utilize it. So that was fairly successful. I'm going to go back home and, yeah. On top of that, while I was away, we should have had stuff being produced. So we have blackstone and we have cobblestone, or cobble deep slate. I did forget that I need to go ahead and actually chunk load my base. Sorry, wrong button. Yeah, there we go. Chunk load my base so that things can happen while I'm away because nothing happened while I was away. Okay, so now that we have that, we can actually go ahead and work on making our meshes. I did look at all of the things, and in order to get the best thing, netherite pretty much is the best for everything that we need. There's not really anything that netherite doesn't get us anything better on, or even in the case of like the flint, remove some of the resource that we don't necessarily care about. So, Yeah, like I'm not going to complain. We'll have netherite. I need a total of at least 7 of these. Yes, to be able to do these. But we don't have netherite yet, so I can't really do anything. But I was just getting that in preparation. So what do we need to work on next? Well, I cleared this area out because we need to get our sieves set up. Okay, our auto hammers, our auto sieves, and all of that stuff. I shouldn't need to make more ender gates. We can utilize what we have power-wise for that. But anyway, so what we have is a total of 7 sieves. We're going to sieve gravel, sand, dust, crushed netherrack, crushed endstone, crushed deep slate, and crushed blackstone. 7 different resources that are going to be automatically sieved for us at all times. So I have the stuff set up here for us to go ahead and make 7 total sieves. So we can go ahead and shove that all into our inventory, and we can go ahead and make 7 flux sieves. Bada bing, bada boom, 7 of those. On top of that, we are going to need to get ourselves 10 hammers that will crush the things. Gravel comes from cobble, so that's 1 cobble to gravel. To sand is cobble to gravel to sand, so that requires 2 hammers, so that's 3 total. Dust is 3 more that we need because it's cobble to gravel, gravel to sand, sand to dust, so that's 3 more, so we're at 6. And then each one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 is 10, right? Something like that. I think my math on that was correct. I mapped this out ahead of time. So we end up with 10 total that we're going to need. So we can shove all of this into the system, and we can go ahead and grab ourselves 10 flux hammers. On top of that, I went ahead and made ourselves some cobble gens, so we have those available. We need 3 of these. I have 1 extra so that we can actually have cobble because we don't have any coming into our system. So these are the things that we are going to need in order to get this whole system up and running and working for us. Now, I do have the option. I could make more of these gates, the ender gates. I just don't know how much power these things are actually going to use. Are they going to use more than 500 RF per tick? Can I get away with the starter ones? Or are they going to use, 2,000 RF per tick for each one? I'm not quite sure. I cannot see them using 2,000 RF per tick. Oh, Enderman Gateway. 100 Enderman loot rolls? That's ridiculous. But it is possible. I did make some Ender cores. I would need 17 of these if I wanted each one to have their own power source. It would be much cleaner looking that way, because I can have power coming in the back and then items outputting to the front into a no, I think we'll be okay with just our hardened. Maybe I'll upgrade to a blazing, and I'll get a blazing one at least. That way we can do 20,000 RF, and I think that should definitely be more than enough. Okay. Anyway, all this to say, let's get ourselves started. So we need 7 of them. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have exactly 7 with a chest here. Bada bing, bada boom. This is going to look beautiful. So let's get our sieves set up. Sieves are going to be the first thing that we're going to place down just so that we can kind of build out. So we have our 7 sieves ready to go. Now the sieves and all of these blocks in the quests, it did mention that they can be adjusted. We do need to utilize a hammer from Ex Deorum. So we need to make any sort of hammer from here. Diamond, sure, why not? And then we can adjust how the output is going to be. You shift right click. Now I have that blue. Now it's going to output to the front. Normally it would be outputting on the bottom, but it's going to output to the front in this case now. Okay, so we have adjusted all those. Now, each of these is going to require a sieve, so we can go ahead and grab our sieves, a mesh. Now, our meshes, we are going to work on, we're going to get them upgraded to at least diamond tier. All of them are going to go to netherite tier at some point, or soon. So we're going to get them all at 2 diamond tier to start with. And then, then I can't shift click because it puts the overflow into the mesh itself. There we go. And then each of these is going to require power. I don't think I'm going to end up having enough energy pipes. Can we hook a ender gate up to these? Let's find out. ender gate. Stick that on the side here. No, we cannot use these ender gates on the pipes. It just has to do with how pipes is kind of funky. We could, I was going to say, we could get like a battery of some sort of buffer in order to buffer this out. But, I mean, we could use the energy cables. I have them. I just don't know if I have enough of any one specific tier energy cable. 5,000 RF per tick. Can I make some more of these? 32. Do we think 32 is going to be enough to get this whole thing done? I think 32 should be enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these all powered up. And we're going to have power going up to the higher machines and everything. And I guess if that's the case, that's blazing. These can transfer 5,000 RF per tick, but that does 20. So I guess it doesn't really matter. I made the blazing for no reason. We're going to utilize the hardened because that's going to be the tier that we are able to actually set up on all these. So these should all now start getting power, and you're going to see a little bit of power draining from our battery, but honestly, we generate enough with 12,000 RF per tick now. Okay, cool. So all of our sieves are powered. Next, we need to get all of our hammers on them, and hammers can go directly on top. Problem with this is, now that I think about it, I'm actually going to have to break these because I need to get to the bottom of all of those to tell it to output to the bottom, because everything's going to final output. It's going to be a hammer into the sieve. So I have to actually balloon on a stick this, break this, break this. Then I got to come here and I got to say, hey, buddy, I need you to output from the bottom. And I got to do that with all these. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay. Hammers configured. I realize I'm going to end up having to, at least for these three, we're going to have to do that whole process again because I'm going to need, or these two. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that again because I'm going to need to place the other hammers so that they can go in line. But outside of that, everything else should be okay. So let's go ahead and you are going to go up one block and then a hammer. And then you are going to get 2 and then your hammer. So because we're going to have a hammer here, and sieve. So 3 hammers. So we're going to have a hammer here. Configure that. We're going to have a hammer here. Configure that. And then we're going to end up with a hammer here, which means I have to do the whole thing again. They do not remember their output, by the way. So when you break it, you buy it, essentially. Let's get there. And then we can put the sieve back down. And you kind of get how this is going. And then there. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to have to do the same thing here. But this one's only going to get 1 configured and then 2 configured. And this would be easier if I wasn't trying to make it so compact, of course, but compactness is next to godliness, right? Okay, there and there. So now all of the hammers are configured. All of the sieves are configured correctly. Now we just need to get power into these hammers, and we should have enough power. There we go. Okay. Everything should be nice and happy power-wise, filling up. And now all we got to do is get items into them. Now, I believe these hammers will auto-pull from the inventory above. We are going to find that out right now by setting up our cobble gen. Now, the problem with the cobble gen is it inputs to the top, not the bottom, but we'll see what happens. It has a hopper, you see? There's a hopper. So, hey, look, there we go. Hammer, hammering. Should send into the sieve, the gravel, and then the gravel is going to output, or the sieve's going to output just directly into its own inventory, I think. No, it's going to get stuck because there's nowhere for it to go. That's okay, though, because we need to set up the other things. Oops. Gosh, and that's terrible because those are absolutely the worst thing to break in the world. They take forever to break. Okay, cool. So now we have our base resources ready. Gravel, sand, dust. Now, for the rest of the resources, we are going to notice that we have a problem, right? All of them are over here. Whereas I need everything to be over here. And eventually we will have this set up with you know what? I've never utilized these ender drawers. Requires an ender chest. How do these work? Could I use an ender drawer to link this drawer over here, like a drawer over there to a drawer over here? So do they share their inventory? That would be kind of nifty. What do I need to do to make this? I'm going to assume I need 2 of them. So let's just make a drawer. Let's check out the ender drawers really quick. I know this episode's gone on long, but let's check out how this works. So ender drawers, okay? I want one of them to sit here. And let's say this is going to be netherrack. Nope, give me that back, please. If I take, let's just get rid of this netherrack drawer here really quick. And I put this here. Is that going to fill in? It is going to add netherrack to that. Okay. Can you have upgrades and stuff just like any other normal drawer could? You can. Sneak, that's the configuration tool. The linking tool. Left click and ender drawer to store its frequency. Okay. Okay, well now it's configured. Do I just right click? Nope. Do I stored the frequency. Okay, clear the frequency. Reset yourself. Sneak right click in the air to clear the frequency. Okay. Left click in ender drawer to store its frequency. That's all it says. Right click a controller to set up the tool. I'd like to link these two. So I've stored or linked this. Do I do that? Do I do that? No, I'm assuming because that's dye paper. And if I come over here and I do this again, it changed. Okay, so it stored the frequency. I'm assuming that's how ender drawers are supposed to work, right? Change drawer frequency. Oh. So now we have netherrack over here. That works. Look at that. And we have netherrack being pulled. So all of the netherrack that's being generated over here ends up getting pulled. I like that. I think we're going to set these up with those instead. And we can lock them. No, that cleared the frequency. Are you kidding? I wanted to lock it. No, 4, 5. It's still working. 1. Yeah, it's still pulling. I guess you can't lock these drawers. Oh, shift right click and it locked it. Okay. And I'm going to assume they tie their lock together. That's kind of cool. And so you have a specific dedicated drawer to each one. Now, is that 100% necessary to do? No, but I like it. I like it a lot. So then we end up getting resources coming down here once it gets crushed. Missing inventory. Yes, you're also missing your sieve. None of you can do any work because none of you have a sieve, do you? Because I broke all of you. Let's go ahead and sieve them back up. Okay, cool. So that takes care of the items being produced. However, it can't go anywhere because, well, there's nothing, no mesh hooked up to it or anything like that. Or no inventory that they can output to, which is what we're going to handle on over here. I have a gold barrel. I'm going to stick this bad boy here. And the gold barrel is going to get upgraded. He's going to get a stack upgrade, and he's going to get a compacting upgrade. Stack upgrade, compacting upgrade. Okay. Inside of this, now that I'm thinking about it, we're going to get resources that are not. Is there a filter for this? Can I have everything go to a stable wormhole except for the chunks? Filter upgrade. Let's check this out really quick. I'm going to go ahead and assume I want the advanced version of it. And a filter upgrade. That's the wrong version of that. That was for the backpacks, not for the chests. Okay. Filter upgrade. So I want to filter, but the only thing that I want to come into here is those chunks, the ore chunks. I want those to come in, get compacted, and get immediately then they're going to get sent into a chest. So I want to add Ex Deorum ore chunks or Altamon 9 Sky ore chunks. Which one would I want to have that be? Okay. I guess I'll go Altamon 9 Sky ore chunks. So now all of the only thing that's allowed into this barrel should be ore chunks. Then if I come over here and set up a stable wormhole and we say face that right on there, if we set up pipes and we say it to try and dump everything into the pipe that's closest to it first, we should be okay. Now, the only problem is I'm going to need pipe upgrades on each of these. But I think that should be doable, right? If we set up like this, and that is pointing into there, I can actually go ahead now and do this so that it's attached there. So the stable wormhole is there. Items are going to dump into the wormhole. If I come over here and I configure this guy to be an output, and then I say, hey, I want to upgrade you, advanced, and I want you to go to the nearest chest first. It's automatically nearest chest. So what it should be doing is anything that can go into here, the ore chunks, should be able to go into here. And I had that on the wrong mode, so ore chunks would have went into here. But any of these ore chunks should go into here first before anything ends up in here, if I have that set up correctly. Missing inventory, but you're getting pulled from. So do you have to have, it looks like it needs to have a chest or some sort of buffer. Okay. If I do this and I get just a regular barrel then, and I put you here, will you be happy now? Yeah, now it's happy. All right, so it wants a intermediary buffer, which means that instead of having the output be on the front, then I'll just put the outputs on the bottom and then run the cables to the bottoms of these. Like, I'm not going to stress out about that. But yeah, so let me reconfigure all these. That way we can wrap this episode up. Okay, I think this should work for us. We're going to have to set it up the same. However, this time we're going to have to set it up to go to the, well, I guess is that the farthest inventory? Because they're both the same distance, aren't they? And I want all of the ore chunks to try to go in here first before they go into the wormhole. So, because if I configure this now to extract, I think they're just going to kind of sort of end up random. Nearest first, furthest first, round robin, random. Nearest first, furthest first. Yeah, I don't know which one's nearest or furthest. Nothing's ending up in here, though. And if we look in ore chunks, we have ore chunks coming in here. Okay. So our other option would be to move the wormhole. One. And have it go over there. Now we should be getting ore chunks coming into here now, right? They should be able to extract from here. Now this is not very fast. We can get upgrades on the sieves, by the way, to make them faster. But ore chunks are coming into here, yes. Did we get a different ore chunk? Or did it dump? You know what? I see what's happening. Because these are not set to extract yet. It's dumping into these. Okay, so all of these, man, this is going to be a pain to get set up correctly. But these all need to be on extract because these pipes are one way. That way nothing can go anywhere else. Now we should have ended up with those there. And the extra stuff is probably just chilling because it has nowhere else to go, right? Yeah. Okay, so nothing else can go anywhere because it has nowhere else to go. So what I want to do then is go ahead and set up this and say, okay, insert into the stable wormhole. But what I want to do first is get these guys upgraded. Okay, I need advanced upgrades really quick. Give me a second. Okay, and I realize the rest of these actually don't even need upgrades. I put advanced upgrades into them because, you know, Why not? But they don't need the upgrades because the only thing that actually produces the ores is the gravel, right? So everything else should just be hunky-dory sitting by itself, chilling, not doing anything. Missing inventory on your output side. Are you kidding me, buddy? Your output is not here. Let's fix you really quick because you're going to be playing hardball here with me. But anyway, yeah, nothing else shouldn't technically need the upgrade. I'll go ahead and get it in there. I mean, why not? But now we should have items coming into here. Yeah, and we have a bunch. And items coming into here. You're happy. Yep, you're happy. And then nothing's coming out of these because I need to set up the other ender chests or ender drawers. But yeah, there we go. And we should be good. Chunks are coming into here. We need to configure the compacting. We're going to compact anything. We're going to work in the GUI. We're going to actually go ahead and take this out of there because we need to upgrade that. I forgot it needed to be the next tier, so I can set the mod. And we're going to say match tags. We're going to say you, and we're going to add all the more mods 9. And yeah. So now if I do allow, if I do this, take it out and put it back in, it should compact. Now we're going to have to do this. There we go. Nope. Compact. As they come in going forward, they should automatically compact once they hit that 4. But that compacts the ores for us. We don't need crafters set up. We don't need anything like that. Everything should automatically get compacted. We can then have these pulled out into a smelting, crushing process for us automatically, which is great. But the rest of this stuff can just go into the stable wormhole. And we should not end up with any chunks inside of here. No ore chunks. We'll take the 2 that we have out just to validate that so that we don't end up with anything extra. Clean up inventory a little bit. We should no longer need the stone hammer, by the way. Energy cables, our warp stone can go away. The copper ore chunks can go into here. Lapis can go into here. Clean up inventory. And no ore chunks should be ending up in here because I set that one to output to the closest inventory first, and the closest inventory to it is going to be the barrel. Anything that can go into there will go into there. Otherwise, everything else will end up in the wormhole. All of these barrels should now be empty. Yep. And we're producing resources auto-magically. I like it. I love it. And it's fairly compact. Honestly, if we were using different pipes, if we were to say use mechanism pipes or even, I mean, heck, we could probably use a modular router or something like that to pull from these inventories. We wouldn't need to have this whole setup, but these sieves require an inventory in front of them. And since these pipes are meant to not be laggy, the way that they are working is they don't actually, they're not tile entities until items are pushed through or something like that. Anyway, so it's not counting them as a valid inventory. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get ender drawers set up for the rest of those resources, the other 3 that we have to crush, right? There's 3 more. Endstone, deep slate, blackstone. Yeah. And get those going. So we have all of the resources being produced automatically for us. Next episode, we'll come back and we'll automate the ingots portion of things, getting those pulverized and smelted. I think I have a furnace already ready to go for that. So we can have that just happen auto-magically. And yeah, we're ready to go. So if you enjoyed today's episode, I know it was a little longer than normal, but I wanted to make sure that we got everything done, and we did it well. I like this setup. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate it. Really does help out the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one. Have a good one.